Hey guys, this week on Cooking with Carby we're making smash burgers. And with something like this, keeping the ingredients list short is going to result in a much tastier finished product. Let's jump right in with our onions, which we're first going to imbue with a little bit of extra chopping power before bowling a perfect strike right down the middle. Oh crap, I gotta go get that. Whichever way you decide to dice your onions, we're going to start the caramelization process by adding a generous amount of olive oil and our onions into a pan over low heat. This will allow the natural sugars to slowly break down. Our next white onion is being used for our In-N-Out style burger sauce, so we want a super fine dice. I'm slicing horizontally and then vertically as close to each other as I can, splitting off 1/4 of the onion, rotating 90 degrees and dicing. Finishing with a very delicate dice, enough to give some flavor and crunch but not overwhelm. Next is 2 tablespoons of dill pickle relish, important that it's dill and not sweet. I'm running my blade over it just to reduce the size of the pickle chunks. Quick, go check on your onions. It's this low heat, long process that lets the natural sugars do the work and we don't need to add anything. Into the sauce goes 1 cup of mayo, 1.5 teaspoons paprika, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1.5 tablespoons sugar, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, and 6 dramatic squeezes of ketchup, or 6 tablespoons. This next step is extremely important. Always shake your mustard. Nobody wants mustard pee. Squeeze in about a tablespoon and then give everything a good mix. Just make sure you're incorporating all of the chunks from the bottom. Give it a quick taste and remember that, sauces kind of taste gross by themselves. Grab a plastic cutting board before we start our meat preparation. Check on your onions again. Nobody said it was going to be a quick process. Okay, back to the meat preparation. Not all ground beef is created the same. Extra lean ground beef only has a fat content of about 10%. This is regular ground beef with a fat content of 30%, which is ideal for making burgers. It's going to stay juicy even after cooking. Extra lean would dry out. I'm making 3-ounce or 85-gram patties that I am forming into very loose circles and then seasoning only with salt and pepper. While our pans preheat, we'll finish our prep. Loads of cheese ready to melt on our patties. That last 1/4 of onion gets slivered, and some extra thick slices of tomato. For my lettuce, I'm just tearing off large leaves of a head of iceberg, making sure to give that extra large first one to Rupert. For buns, I'm using some that I baked this morning following Joshua Weissman's perfect burger bun recipe. They're a combination of a brioche and a Japanese milk bun, and they are absolutely the best buns I've ever had. Butter both sides, throw into a preheated pan. Time to introduce my weapons of smash destruction. I've got a wooden rolling pin and a non-slotted spatula. On a smoking hot cast iron pan, I'm placing my burger and then using my rolling pin to press the spatula down on top of it, hence the smash burger part of this recipe. By creating more surface area that's actually touching the pan, there's room for more Maillard reaction to happen, which is the chemical reaction between amino acids and reducing sugars that gives browned food its distinctive flavor. Browned food tastes good. Once our burgers have developed a good crust on the bottom, they will release easily from the pan. If they're not lifting off the pan, they're not ready to flip yet. Checking back on our onions now, they should be finished in a nice golden brown color. We'll place a spoonful on each patty and then top with cheese. If you're doing this in a pan, you can speed up the melting process by putting a splash of water and then covering with a lid. At this point, your buns are either going to be perfectly toasted like mine or burnt to a crisp. If they're good, take them off and we'll get ready to plate. You know what's better than watching paint dry? Watching cheese melt. As soon as it's melted, we can take these off the pan, turn off the stove, and move back to our cutting board to plate up. Starting with a layer of sauce on the bottom, at least a couple spoonfuls, then some of our slivered onions, a layer of lettuce, one of our thick cut tomatoes to hold everything down and not slide around, then our burger patty goes on top, a little extra sauce to make sure I get some in my beard when I take my first bite, pop the lid back on, and let's admire this beauty for a minute before we dig in. Wow, that's so good. I feel like people try to do way too much with burgers, whether it's stuffing them with cheese, putting breadcrumbs in the ground beef, sous vide burgers, Instapot burgers, and you just don't need to. Simple ingredients, homemade buns, salt, pepper for your seasoning, that's all you need. I really hope you guys try this because you'll be amazed at what you can do at home. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, drop a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for the next one. See you guys.